Okay, so I'm Matt, here today with LostALapras, also known as Ryan. Um, Ryan has only just started playing the Silph Arena PvP since the beginning of lockdown, um, and he's done rather well. His first Silph tournament was a 7 round Voyager Cup, and he ended up actually going 6-1. We're going to have a look at some of his videos from that. Ryan, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
First, let me ask. I know we met briefly before the lockdown started.
Yeah.
Started talking about PvP and GBL. I know now you know this is your preferred format rather than GBL. Do you want to just talk about why?
Yeah, at first it was, I found it really difficult, as you know, to see an opponent's 6 and then try and pick 3 from mine. But once you adjust to it, it's so much better than blind battles. The blind battles in GBL, like, I've not played GBL now for well over a week because the end of the season's come. Once I hit rank 9, I was done. And that was it for me. It's just so dead.
Yeah. I think my issue with it is that in GBL, if your opponent's 3 just walls your 3, there's literally nothing you can do. I think the difference with Silph is that if you pick a 3 that's walled by your opponent's 3, you're partially to blame. You know, you've got a chance at winning every game at least, which I think is nice. But there we go. So your team for this tournament was Venusaur, Azumarill, Registeel, Toxicroak, Alolan Marowak, and Noctowl.
Yes.
Any particular thoughts? Anything you want to say about any of those picks?
First thought is this was pre-Stunfisk release, so it's not as good anymore. I remember we did a few practices, and the one thing I was struggling against the most was a Haunter. And then I think we had a lot of discussion after a practice tournament about things to bring in to counter a Haunter, and that's where I brought Noctowl in. And it just ended up being so much more than a Haunter counter, as you'll see.
Yeah, I think, as you say, before Stunfisk being around, electric types weren't very common. And I think what it jumps out to me about it as well is that it'll be the grass types. It'll be the Alolan Marowak, which was really popular at the time. As you say, this was before Stunfisk. It takes on the Toxicroak, which was a really popular Gen 4 pick. And it's not particularly, it can go even shields with Azumarill, really. So it can be really quite a good utility Pokemon in this. So, not the most glamorous of picks, but it can really serve its purpose well.
It was. I think later on I had to change it because obviously the Stunfisk came in and Noctowl had to be let go, but regrettably.
Well, got some good use out of it while you could, clearly. So
single moved as well.
Single move, wow.
didn't have the candy to both power up and unlock the move.
Wow. So it's a 7-round tournament. We've only got the final 5 rounds. We've not got the first 2 rounds recorded.
Yeah.
But just for reference, the first 2 rounds were against Altered ZQ Squiddy, who.
I played Squiddy in that tournament. Didn't know that.
Yeah, round 1. So Squiddy is. I think he's based in Wales. In the video I did with Phil for the Magicians regionals, that Squiddy got to. I think he finished 4-1 in that, so he's a solid player. And then in round 2, you have Benjamin Zero, who actually beat me in regionals. So you've got 2 players with a high standard there. You've not had easy games to begin with.
Yeah.
And then coming into round 3, which we're going to look at now, you've actually got the Magician himself.
Another regional winner.
Yeah, it's a tough start.
I didn't realise how tough this run was, because obviously I didn't really know any names at this point, so everyone was just new to me.
Yeah. So the Magician's team is Hypno, Azumarill, Registeel, Toxicroak, Marowak, and Meganium.
First thoughts here is AWAC's got a lot of positive matchups.
Yeah.
So I think I'll lead that one. and then you'll see Noctowl's just an amazing safe switch in this tournament because there's no electric types. It's unreal, and then it can beat the Azumarill as well and the opposing AWAC in case they get stuck in the mirror.
Yeah, and if the Magician doesn't bring Registeel here, he's going to have a real tough time winning switch advantage off Noctowl, and switch advantage in a tournament like this is huge. So yeah, that's
you
what
probably see me get locked in a Noctowl Registeel battle, and you can see how much damage Noctowl can actually do to the Reggie. Like it's always going to lose. It's always going to lose, but
it'll
take good chunks with it. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to it. Right, let's press play, see what happens.
Yeah, go on.
So the AWAC lead, like you say. Oh, not a great start.
No.
But there's your Noctowl safe.
The Noctowl. Yeah.
So,
Reggie? No, Hypno.
no. So
this was always really close. Like, it's always closer than the Sims suggest.
I'm not sure who comes out in top in this, to be honest. I can't remember the Sims. I think if he's got Thunder Punch or Ice Punch, I think he'll come out unless you double shield. Oh, there we go. So yeah, Ice Punch. So I
think I might double shield here, you know.
Well, I think that's what I'd be suggesting. Try and win the switch advantage back to avoid that Marowak Azumarill. Because even if you double shield and he only single shields. Oh.
No. Oh, but it's so tanky. Look at that.
Yeah.
So he'll have to double shield if he wants to keep it, I think.
Yeah, I think Noctowl.
It's going to be close though if he doesn't.
Ooh. Oh. Yeah, Noctowl and Hypno, both Pokemon that don't look particularly appealing, don't sound like to be anything special, but they're so tanky, and in Great League, that's really valuable.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he does. So we know he's got a Azumarill in the back.
Toxicroak. Do I try and catch it here? No. Oh yeah. Didn't work though. That was something I just picked up from GBL, just constantly trying to catch the charge moves.
Yeah, it can swing a game. Especially when you know Marowak's fairly useless here because he's got a Azumarill. You may as well take that damage with Marowak, and
Yeah. Ooh, Ice Beam. There's no play rough.
Yeah, were you running play rough on yours?
Oh yeah, from the start always.
Yeah, I spoke to Phil about that. I think I like play rough for the ability to win the mirror. I think that's vital.
It was one of the most common matchups that I found myself in is the Azumarill mirror, especially once I changed my team as well. It's like Azumarill was one of my only Azumarill counters.
Yeah, because the grass types can be a bit of a liability sometimes. So if you can counter Azumarill with other things, it's worth it. I think that's part of the reason why Hypno was so popular because of Thunder Punch. It could go toe to toe with Azumarill.
Yeah.
So shield here.
Venusaur's there to scare the Azumarills, but they hardly ever use it, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think when you've got things like Venusaur and Toxicroak that are both with the poison Psychic, and so many teams have Hypno with Confusion, it's difficult to use them both.
Yeah, that was the thing with Voyager, though, wasn't it? You were always weak to something.
Yes, yeah.
I was initially weak to the Haunter, brought in the Noctowl, then I was weak to Hypno, then I bring in my own Hypno later on for different tournaments. But I think Venusaur was my only Great League grass type, and you couldn't really go without a grass type. Yeah. So I had to take it with me in this, and then switch to Ferrothorn in the end.
Yeah, Ferrothorn was a beast. So you managed to turn that first one round from a bad lead. I
think I've gone same team here. I've just switched the safe switch and the lead around. But so Z.
So it's strange that the Magician starts with Hypno. I think Hypno I always like it as a safe switch, particularly against teams like yours that don't have a dark type on.
Yeah.
Because it's like we were saying about Noctowl, if you double shield it, you can win back the switch advantage. But something I noticed in the Magician's Originals win was that he liked leading with Hypno. So, personal preference.
Ooh, this hasn't gone well. I don't know how I win this one.
This is a reason why I personally I'm not too fussed about Ice Beam on a Azumarill in Voyager, because the main grass type that you can win up against is Meganium. And yes, it's useful to hit the Meganium, but Meganium's so bulky that you're not winning that much anyway. So I'd rather have the player that does win the Azumarill.
And at the start as well, there were so many Registeals that you just had to have Hydro Pump. Like,
yes.
You could not go without Hydro Pump at the start.
No, certainly.
I think near the end you maybe could have got away with it because a lot of people opted for Altaria instead.
Yeah, Altaria became popular, and then Bastiodon filled the steel role.
The tanky role, yeah. I was limited in my Sinnoh pick because Toxicroak's the only Sinnoh Pokemon I had at the time.
Wow.
Might still be, actually.
So you only had one Sinnoh Pokemon, you only had one grass type, and you still managed to go 6-1.
Yeah. And it was my first time ever using a Noctowl as well.
Wow. So you managed to shield the Earthquake there. This is a weird one because Marowak versus Azumarill, it's not a nice match, but you can still hit it hard with the Shadow Ball.
Yeah, the Shadow Ball hits it really hard. I think I brought Noctowl in to try and get rid of the last shield, so the Shadow Ball will go through.
Right, sensible. You'd over-farmed a lot, so you'd probably be close to 2 as Shadow Balls, I imagine, as well.
Yeah, I think I used farming as more of a thinking time in this first tournament. So I think I sometimes over-farmed to the point where Pokemon went down with near 100 energy because I was too busy thinking about what to do.
Right. It can help you sometimes, especially if you're in a losing position. You don't really have much to lose by doing that. And if you use those extra seconds to come up with something that might win you the match, it's worth doing. Let's have a look. No, he got there. That's a shame.
Unless it's just an Ice Beam.
Yeah, could be.
You got the Hydro Pump? I'll probably go Bone Club here.
Try and get the bait.
Yeah. I think back then I was never wanted to risk a nuke move while they still had a shield.
Right. I think in that situation it's worth doing because there's nothing worse than losing with a shield left.
Yeah.
It gets the second Ice Beam, so that's 1-1.
Yeah. I wonder what I'll do in the third.
So he's led Hypno both games, doesn't he? Oh no, he didn't. He led a Azumarill.
He led a Azumarill. I've gone back to what I used in the first game. Since I lost lead and won anyway, I think it was the better option.
Right, sensible, yeah. So it looks like with Marowak being a Ghost type and Hypno being a Psychic type, it's one of those where you'd think Marowak wins comfortably, but if you don't shield the Shadow, yeah, it can hurt.
But he's not got it, has he? He's got Ice Punch and Thunder Punch.
Ah, well, there we go. That makes it much easier for you. So he switches Registeel.
Right, I think I switch here because I'm expecting to have Meganium because he's brought it both times and it's his only strong Azumarill counter.
I like it.
So I think rather than staying with the Marowak, which has got a Shadow Ball ready to hit the Hypno, I think I've just made sure I got some use out of my Azumarill.
Nice. Really, really smart play. Nothing worse than coming down to the last Pokemon on each side and you don't know what it is. And then it's something that hard counters you.
Yeah.
Gets the bait.
All I did was bait in this tournament, I think.
So again, we don't know what his third is, so it's still important to keep switch here potentially. Although I guess if he shields this, he's down to 0 shields, and we've got so much energy on Marowak, he'd probably be able to turn it around anyway, even if you lose switch now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Go anyway.
Yeah, you've kept the switch, which is good.
Yeah, farming with Meganium, but I've got 2 hard Meganium counters in the back, so.
Yeah. And again, you go to Noctowl here because you've got the Shadow Ball saved on the other.
Yeah, it's ready to go.
Yeah. It's gone for another bait.
Always in the baits on this one. I think I get it as well, yeah. I think I get a lot on this. I've got enough for both though, so.
I think going into this, because you were a sort of like, I think you were a trainer still, because you've done one.
I've done one Open Great League, yeah, and that was just I think I went 2-2 in that.
Yeah, I think perhaps people saw your trainer level and thought you possibly didn't know what you were doing, so perhaps didn't expect you to have these plays up your sleeve. But again, in a tournament situation, it's always difficult to, as the person on the end of the bait, it's always difficult to not shield and call the bait, because it can be, if you expect your opponent to baiting and you let through the big move, it can be brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. End of round 1.
Not talking big straight away.
End of round 3 even. So, moving on to the next round, you're facing Second City Saints, who was based in London. He beat me in this tournament. He beat me in round 7, if I remember rightly. So it'd be interesting for me to have a look back at this to see how you do. His team is Venusaur, Azumarill, Registeel, Toxicroak, Alolan Marowak, and Quagsire. Very similar to your team.
Yeah. It's just the flex slots that he's changed.
I think Quagsire could be dangerous here because it's got a charge move. Well, I'm assuming it's running Earthquake, Stone Edge. You've got nothing that wants to take that.
No, Azumarill can handle it pretty well, though, right?
Yeah.
Azumarill handles a lot of his team quite well.
Yeah, but and I think again, it looks like Noctowl's pretty nice against it as well. So
yeah,
let's see what you go with.
And he's not got Hypno as well, so love Toxicroak in any game where I'm not facing a Hypno.
Yeah, fair enough. It's certainly a really versatile pick.
Yeah, so I've got Toxicroak in the back there. Although not sure it's the best thing to have in the back because you really need to save it a shield, don't you?
Yeah, I'm quite leading with Toxicroak because teams that have Hypno tend to use it sort of in the back or as a switch. And if they do lead Hypno, you can switch out instantly. There's no chance that you're going to be locked in against it. Let's have a look. Those wing attacks were doing so much damage to the Toxicroak, it was mad. So this is one of the situations you were talking about earlier about Noctowl doing more than you might think to Registeel.
Yeah, because they'll never shield a Sky Attack.
No. Just have a look how much
But you can get so many off before it goes down.
Tanked that pretty nicely.
Still going to have to hit another Flash Cannon before I go down.
Yeah. Oh, I almost got to the second Sky Attack there. So this is nice. It's in farming range of Toxicroak if you choose to go into Toxicroak.
Should do. If not, I'm probably going to lose. Mistakes were made. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. Must have obviously worked out okay for you.
Have I gone played rough? Oh no, okay. What's the shields? Oh, both still got 2 shields. Both got a Toxicroak. What's he got left? Azumarill. It's quite an even matchup. It's just a lot more health on my Toxicroak, but he's got the energy.
Yeah, the Toxicroak there is never a nice one. It's one of those matchups where the HP lead means very little because the Mud Bomb is all about the energy lead because of how much the Mud Bombs do.
Yeah. I have to double shield him there.
It wouldn't surprise me if he let this through into the double shield advantage.
with a Zazuma.
Yeah.
Yeah. No point in baiting here.
No. Yeah, you got to go for the big damage there. So.
Ice Beam again, though, so the mirror's looking better.
Oh, that was unlucky.
Oh.
Yeah, so this game doesn't look good.
Game over from there, I think.
Yeah, but as you say, the mirror's looking good now for the Azu match.
Yeah, it's always nice when you see the Ice Beam, but I think by the end of the month, everyone was taking player off.
Yeah, it seemed that way to me. It seems more and more people cottoned onto it. I think at the beginning of the month, a lot of people were jumping on Meganium as the go-to grass type because it was unrestricted and Meganium's so good.
Yeah, you could have it flex, couldn't you?
Yeah, and I think once people figured out that actually the Ice Beam's not really doing you any favours against Meg, then I think people started switching. Oh, that's a tough lead for you.
Yeah, I think he switches though.
Oh, very strange.
Yeah, so I get a perfect thing there where I can just lock in a Noctowl versus the Venusaur. Basically means my Azumarill is pretty safe.
Yeah, and you can certainly farm the Venusaur with Noctowl with it as well, can't you?
Don't know if I do. Oh yeah, going for it. Take the shield and just go for the energy.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've bottled it.
I think getting rid of the Venusaur is the important thing there because, as you say, that makes the Azumarill rather safe. And the fact that he's got this Registeel is nice as his last because it means you've got something to use the
Toxicroak can destroy it.
Nice little slow battle here. He switched again. Very strange.
Yeah, a few odd plays there.
Yeah, may as well stay in and get used to it. Yeah.
Yeah, just let him use energy. Zumba probably come in and farm it.
Yeah, you'd definitely rather get the use out of Noctowl versus Quagsire than Registeel there. Yeah, very very strange play from your opponent there. But he must have had some sort of plan in his mind, but maybe he thought you had a different thing in the back, or for now.
Maybe.
Because that can influence how you play if you have an idea of what you think your opponent's going to bring. It can sometimes work out, and it'll sometimes go the other way, like it's going here for your opponent. But I guess when you're one game up as your opponent is, you can perhaps afford to play a bit more risky.
I can only imagine he was planning on using the Quagsire against the Noctowl, so that's why he switched out of the Toxicroak battle.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then wants to bring it in later on to hit the Stone Edge, but still strange.
Oh, so you switched to stop him from farming you down?
Yeah. He's gone Focus Blast anyway.
So then you should just be able to chip away at the Registeel here.
Yeah, I think it's game from here, yeah. Is that the second one? Is that 1-1 then?
That's 1-1, yeah.
Yeah, so I think leading Azumarill on the first one was not the best idea. I think Toxicroak's definitely the better lead.
So are we expecting you to go see leading Toxicroak again, yeah?
Yeah, I think I've just gone for the good old, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Fair enough. Who can blame you? So are you going to stay? Do you think can you remember who?
I was never a fan of the Toxicroak mirror. I'm probably going to try and catch the charge. Yeah.
Very nice. Oh, that's lovely. And now,
And I'm fine with this. Like, it never bothered me too much getting locked in a Noctowl versus a Reggie, because Noctowl can do so much damage.
and then you've already got a bit of energy on Toxicroak. You can bring Toxicroak back in again and farm it down.
Yeah, I've already got the Mud Bomb, I think.
Yeah. So unless your opponent's got Marowak in the back now.
But even then, I've got the Azumarill, so...
Yeah.
Although he'll have Switch after this, won't he? So I suppose...
Yeah. But Toxicroak's going to cause whatever he's got in the back a lot of trouble, apart from the Marowak. But even then, Mud Bombs will hurt it, so...
Yeah,
so much
I'll maybe have 2 if I come in and farm here. Maybe have 2 more bombs ready for anything coming in.
Let's have a look. Do you go for the farm? Oh, he's saving it.
But again, though, he's got Ice Beam, right? So, Azumarill for the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight into it. With a shield advantage as well.
Yeah, it looks... Don't see your opponent having a way back here. You've got the energy advantage, you've got the shield advantage, and you've got the switch advantage.
It's very difficult without the play rough as well.
Yeah. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit.
Yeah, it looks pretty straightforward from here.
Whoa! Have to ignore that. Still new to all this video editing stuff. And again, we'll ignore that again. Yeah, we'll stick it at 1.5 speed for the rest of the video.
Yes, don't. It can be quite slow, especially the mirrors like this.
Yeah, and there's a lot of bulky.
No, Forest Cup.
Yeah, Forest Cup where it's dead fast and everything. Everything's dying left, right, and centre sometimes.
And then you've got the Ferrothorn mirror or the Mantine mirror. It just goes on for a bit.
Well, that's what's so fun about the Forest Cup. No 2 games are the same, because, like as you say, you've got the really slow-paced Mantine or Ferrothorn matchups, but then that can change in an instant if one of you switches to Blaziken or Galvantula to farm a bit of energy, and it can be deadly.
It's great.
Sorry?
Forest Cup's great.
Oh, sorry, mate, you broke up a bit there. Forest Cup's great, was that?
Yeah, I love it now.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Found something that works.
Right, next round, Phil Jim Bob, or Philly Jim Bob. Cracking player, really good player. Very different team to what we've seen so far. Lapras, Azumarill, Registeel, Gallade, Marowak, and Shiftry. Now, the first thing that stands out to me when I see this is Shiftry. And yeah, it can be a destructive grass type, but when I see Shiftry, I think, right, Azumarill's a cracking safe switch, because Shiftry has to shield to beat Azumarill. So I don't mind safe switching Azumarill here, because you can, even if their opponent counter switches to Shiftry, you can take a shield advantage there.
I think I've probably got Noctowl, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean...
I constantly use Noctowl as the safe switch in this cup.
Yeah.
I think looking back, though, I wasn't aware Gallade was a confusion user.
Right.
So I probably thought, oh, there's no Toxicroak's got play here. So I think I lead that in the first one.
Okay,
well, pay off, though.
Well, let's have a look. I think...
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's a good lead, though.
Yeah. Nice.
No. I must have known. I was rapid switching.
Yeah. Lovely switch.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah. That's one of the nice things about Gallade. Nothing wants to take close combat or Leaf Blade, or very little anyway. It's like it's similar to
it though for Toxicroak.
Yeah, and I initially liked Gallade more, but then Hypno. I started using Hypno, and that was so much better. Which then made sense to use Toxicroak over Gallade. You don't need two Confusion uses. Yeah. Oh, you shield this.
Yeah, I think I always underestimated Toxicroak and how much he could tank.
Right, fair.
I guess I always thought of him as really glassy, but he's not quite a haunter.
No. I think it's worked out here as well because you've got the energy advantage. So you get your shield back and you might be able to get to another one. Yeah, so he's gone to farm you down there by the looks of things, isn't he?
Yeah. Question is, does he have played rough?
No, I think Phil was a nice being fan. There we go.
I've had 3 nice Azumarill here.
Yeah.
Magician, Second City, and Phil carrying Ice Beam as third. I've used Azumarill in every battle so far.
Yeah, well, it's so
good. I've nearly always run into the mirror.
It is so good, especially when you know you're winning the mirror, or you've got a hunch that you're going to win the mirror.
So I've brought AWAC in here. I'm scared of the Gallade, probably.
Nice lead, lovely lead.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've gone back to the Noxal Azu AWAC team, which has served you well so far.
Yeah. It's probably my most popular lineup, I think, in any order.
I think the nice thing about Azu and AWAC as a pair is that there really isn't much that beats them both. So if you can use Noctowl to win the switch advantage, then it's very difficult for your opponent to win without switch advantage against that pair of Azu and AWAC.
Yeah.
But sort of obscure things like Castform, Rainy, and Lantern can do it.
No, but they're not very popular in Voyager Worthy.
No, but that again. You can sort of use play rough on the Azu to win the mirror, then it sort of fills that role that not much can do.
I went straight farm here. Yeah.
Nice.
Loaded with energy.
Valid. Oh, Hydropomp.
Yeah, I think I just treated it as a Hypno, and I was never really sure what was the most energy efficient move on a Hypno.
Right, fair enough.
So I've always just gone for the big hit because I know I've probably only got time to get one move off.
Yeah,
just try and get as much damage done as possible.
Yeah, fair enough. If you're not sure, go for the big one. And it doesn't look like Gallade's going to cause too much trouble to the rest of your team anyway, with Marowak and Noctowl in the back. The Marowak mirror is never nice.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of most mirrors, to be honest.
I remember before you started, there was a couple of months before you started, there was Rose Cup, which was my favourite so far. There was a lot of Marowak mirrors in there.
Yeah. It's horrible, especially when you've got that super effective move. You've got to be so careful as to what to shield and what to bait.
Yeah, and once you figure out CMP, who's got CMP, then that's big as well.
But Marowak's a great match here because he's got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Leaf Blade in close combat, it's just not going to do anything to him. Could probably hit another one. Yeah, and enough for a Shadow Ball, so.
That's 1-0.
No, I think that's the second one, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, of course, yes.
1-1, or is it 2-0? I can't even remember if I won the first.
2-0, yeah, 2-0.
Oh, yeah. I think I was 2-0 up, so I've probably not put too much thought into this team. I'll come back to the first game. Toxicroak lead.
It's always nice, though, being 2-0 up and no pressure on the third. So.
Yeah. It's nice not having to come up with a third line to try and outwit your opponents.
Yeah, none of those.
Go, oh, this worked, I'll just run this again.
Yeah, none of those mind games of, well, he thinks I'm going to use this because I did this, and then so maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang.
That was one of the most difficult things to get around first time as well.
Or the mind games of
the psychology of it. Yeah,
it's half the battle, really. I'll get to it. Oh,
I managed to get a shield at least.
Yeah, that was nice.
Leaf Blade's going to hurt though.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons I liked Gallade to begin with, because the Azumarill Registeel core was so popular. I liked using Gallade as a safe switch because in the 2 shields it beat.
Yeah, it beats them both. Yeah. I think this was round 5, wasn't it?
Yes, this was round 5. So your next opponent, we've only got 2 recordings off. The next opponent is UK number 1, Tenacity. So you really running this.
There's a lot of pressure on this game. I think at this point we were the only 2 left undefeated.
Yeah, quite possibly.
We were 5-0.
Right, so Tenacity's team: Shadow Hypno, Azumarill, Registeel, Grottle, Scrafty, and Sableye. So I actually was talking to Tenacity a lot, and we were sort of team building together to begin with, knowing that we were in separate regionals. We were sort of bouncing ideas off each other, and he'd identified quite early that Hypno safe switch was going to be big, which is why he's got 2 dark types to stop that. What I think is interesting is Grottle, Razor Leafer, and I think he's got it there because he didn't really like any of the Gen 4 slots, and Grottle's got Body Slam, so when it gets caught in a bad matchup, it's got a spamming neutral hit to get off as well.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So
it was a very strange team, and a lot of things I'd never come up against, so it was a difficult match for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about. With it being, your first big tournament, did you know what to expect from things like Grottle and Scrafty?
Not a clue. Not a clue.
So can you remember what you picked here, or trying to get into it? Or what were your thoughts?
Imagine I've probably stuck to the same pool of 4 that I've used. I've not seen Venusaur or Registeel yet, but I think Registeel's got some play in this. 100%. I should be taking Registeel, but I don't think I do, and it's probably why I lose.
Right, well, let's have a look then. So we've only got 2 games from this one. So let's have a look.
So what have I led? I've led my best safe switch into the Registeel. Brilliant. Shock and switch, because now I've hardly got anything to answer the Registeel. And I've locked in my Marowak against Azumarill.
I think it's interesting, yes, with the Grottle being there as a Razor Leaf, I mean, perhaps different if you weren't knowing what to expect from it. But I always find it's difficult for my opponent to bring Razor Leafers because it's so one-dimensional. I feel like certainly the top players most of the time would rather try and play around things than bank on that sort of rock paper scissors. So I think I'd have been tempted to use Azumarill as a safe switch in, knowing that Grottle had Razor Leaf. It's difficult when you don't know what to expect from them.
Yeah.
But you've got the shield advantage.
As well.
Sorry?
The Scrafty and the Sableye as well, just
right. Fair.
Didn't know what to expect from either of them, what they could be. I think I knew Sableye had the Power Gem.
Right.
But I don't think it came into account.
Yeah, Sableye is a dangerous Pokemon, for sure.
I think watching this back is just annoying that I've done switches like bringing the AWAC in when it's my only Registeel hard counter.
Right.
And this Shadow Hypno, man, this caused problems. It hits so hard.
Yeah.
That extra 20% is huge.
Yeah, the Shadow form really benefits the bulky things like Hypno. That will still have plenty of defense after the 20% drop, but the extra damage can be brutal, as you say. I think it also benefits the really glassy Pokemon as well that aren't going to tank a hit anyway. So you may as well lose that 20% defense to get the 20%.
And Azumarill's just gone down there with a player off because I was too busy trying to go for the Hydro Pump.
Oh,
I could have turned that round. Although, to be fair,
yeah, it'd have
probably
been,
not.
yeah.
It'd have been tough. This is the second one.
Oh,
Here comes Venusaur. I think Venusaur's got some good play against this team, but why
Yeah.
am I throwing the Frenzy Plant?
do you make the same switch? You do, yeah.
Just shocking all-round play, to be honest. Still no Registeel in the team as well, when it was probably my best switch against them.
I think it can be difficult. I think when you're so new to it, and you know you're up against someone who is top 20 in the world or whatever, it can get in your head and stop you.
I think it definitely did as well. Like, all the other matches were recorded on one recording.
Right.
And then this one, I started and stopped the recording between each one, and then forgot to record the third. I think my head was gone from everyone putting the pressure on, saying he was UK #1 and all this.
Well, I don't think. Well, certainly I wasn't expecting you to do as well as you had done even up to this point. So I think no one was, in the nicest way possible. No one was expecting anything of you in this particular game. So
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of hype in the Discord chat, wasn't there, about you continue taking out these top players, and then Ryan /Tenacity put an end to that. But still got one more game to go.
Back here. He's got the shield. He's got the shield and he's got the Hypno.
Yeah, I think that's,
Yeah, he goes 2-0 up, and then I think I finally decided to bring the Reg in the third. I think it went Regiera to lead.
right.
I remember he definitely led Reggie all 3 games, and then I ended up winning the third, but got no evidence of it,
No.
unfortunately.
Oh well, learn for next time.
Yeah.
So
I think I used the Reggie again in this now.
Yeah.
After it had success against Nasty, I think I used it against Aerobubble in the last round.
Okay. So you've just lost to Nasty. You're 5-1 up. Like to have an easier game in the final round, and then you go and draw another regional champion, Aerobubble.
Yeah.
Could not get any easier. His team's
There's no pressure on this one. No one was saying how good this guy is. So
yeah, well, he is very good.
Yeah, I know that now.
He sort of down the years has been. I won't say down the years. And over the past sort of 12 months, has been the opponent that I've most consistently struggled against. There's a bit of an ongoing joke in the Leeds chat that if Aerobubble's come into a tournament, I don't win it because I lose to Aerobubble. There's a period of about 6 or 7 weeks where he was the only person that managed to beat me, but he beat me about 6 times in that 6 weeks. So
I think I've played him about 3 or 4 times now, and I think I've beat him every time.
Wow. Well, you're doing something right then, because I'll always sing Aerobubble's praises. I think he's a great player.
Mm-hmm.
So his team's Hypno, Azumarill, Shiftry, Toxicroak, Marowak, and Muck. So again, the Shiftry.
You've got to love Noctowl, yeah.
Yeah, no steel, so Noctowl looks amazing.
Yeah.
With the Shiftry being the grass type, Azumarill looks amazing, and that sort of plays into the way you've been playing all tournament with those two, the Azumarill Noctowl combination.
Yeah, I don't think anything changes here. I think I bring the AWAC just as a bit of a harder counter to Hypno.
Right.
That's just the third I choose. It's always got to be Noctowl Azumarill. Azumarill just beats everything in the back, and then Noctowl either as lead or safe switch was great.
So you've led Noctowl, Hypno lead again.
Probably got to shield this in case it's the Shadow Ball, but
Yeah. Azumarill. And what's an interesting one, another thing about Shiftry is that because of one of the upsides of it, because of how fast it gains energy with Snarl, Marowak, being a ghost type, can quite easily lose to Shift Tree sometimes. So that's what the downside of it is, that you haven't got that clean matchup into Azumarill, but you're not a sitting duck versus Marowak, which was the popular fire type at the time.
So we've brought Azumarill in there against the Marowak, and it's gone down to pubes. I think he's got Hypno in the back and something else we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Probably go straight farm here.
That's nice.
Back to the Hypno. Oh,
that was strange. Maybe he was trying to
avoid the Noctowl.
Yeah, perhaps. Or maybe he was just trying to sack it.
Fair. All that energy gone on my Azumarill now. He probably fancies his Hypno versus the Noctowl. I've switched there not to let him farm me.
Yeah, smart. Yeah, it's got Noctowl's game here, isn't it, with the shield?
Yeah, especially with the shield. It can probably even tank a Thunder Punch or two from here.
Oh, almost takes it out. Yeah, this won't kill it, will it?
I've still got Azumarill with a bit of health left, even if it does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think I bring Reggie this time. Yeah, because I had success in the third game of round 6, and then he's not brought his Toxicroak in that one. So I think I've fancied Reggie stealing this.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, he's nice switch there to catch the flash cannon.
Yeah, it's wonderful that. Save up the flash cannon for later.
Oh, a nice switch on your part as well.
And catch this, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've gone for Bone Club, but a Shadow Ball wouldn't do much either with it in the normal side.
Yeah, you don't have to shield him this much. It does nothing. Does nothing to Noctowl.
Yeah, this was a common matchup from the Fusion Cup a few months beforehand as well, which was Marowak was really good on paper, but Noctowl was awesome. And so the amount of time Marowak would get caught into Noctowl, it was I think it stopped a lot of people from wanting to use it in the end.
Even the matchup switch it loses, it only just loses. Like, I think the Hypno and the Azumarill matchups in Voyager were its closest ones.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, the Registeel destroys it, and the Electrics, when they came in, made game relevant.
Yeah. Well, I think the Noctowl has it's either a bullet point or a break point versus Azumarill as well. So I think unless Azumarill double baits you, I think it has to land a Hydro Pump to beat.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think we noticed that in a few practice matches we had, that if you hit the Hydro Pump, you had it, but if the Hydro Pump got shielded, there was no chance the Azumarill was winning.
Because even with Ice Beam being super effective, the Hydro Pump still does more damage. And with Noctowl being so bulky, like the pure damage was needed sometimes. So
we've got to play rough user. First one. I actually didn't know if Vita Tenacity had play rough or not there.
I would have
mattered then.
No, I would have expected him to be play rough. You never know.
Did he switch there? No. I thought he switched. So I've shielded that just to get rid of all his energy, I guess.
Yeah.
So he didn't have a Thunder Punch ready for Reggie.
Yeah, smart play. There we go, 2-0. So just the meaningless third here at this point. So I think that at this point, let's start talking about the mentoring scheme in the All Stars Discord.
Yeah.
So I was mentoring you, but then a lot of the people you've played and beat in this tournament are mentors. Aero Bubble's a mentor, Peter Nassett is a mentor, Phil Jim Bob's a mentor, the Magician I think is now a mentor. So you're beating top players here now, but the mentorship scheme, I think you've engaged with it really well, and it's paying off. What would you be saying to other people that are wanting to learn about PvP? What would you be saying to them about this mentorship scheme?
Just ask as many questions as you can. Like, get a mentor and just bombard them with questions, pretty much. Whether it's to do with team building, move sets, strategies, like you've explained the safe switch strategy, the sack swap strategy, and all that very well. The bulk points, break points, which I'd never even heard of before you mentioned them to us. Like, there's just so much you don't know, and you don't know what you don't know until you're told.
Yeah, well, that was it. I think yesterday I played a game in the Forest Cup, and someone messaged, I guess a lower ranked player, he messaged me afterwards asking like any advice for a player trying to improve, and my advice to him was join the Northwest All Stars group. Get yourself a mentor, because that way, I'm asking me something, I might give one answer, and then asking another player something, they might give another answer. I think if you ask the same person, you can
consistent feedback from the same person's great.
Exactly, yeah, and it gives you a sort of direction to improve him.
I think one of the most useful things as well is the footage review. So, like, if I have a bad tournament and I've recorded it all, I just stick it all on the playlist and send it to you and get your feedback from it.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's been one of the most useful things, because you don't even know what mistakes you're making sometimes.
And I think,
especially when it's early on.
Yeah, I think it very quickly got to the point where we'd be talking about your tournaments, and you'd say, "Well, I lost these 6 games, but I know why I lost these 5 or whatever." It very quickly got to the point where you were in
yeah. As soon as you look back, you can see your mistakes more clearly. Once you've been told about previous tournaments, you can start to spot the things that you're doing wrong. And it was like you said, it's the first thing you say to anyone looking for help. So I've got Twiggy into it now, and first thing I said to him once he'd had a taste of it and he said he wants to get into it more, I was like, get in the Northwest All Stars and get on the mentoring scheme.
Nice. Well, I'm really glad it's worked as well as it has for you, and I noticed as well. I think Jim Rathatar yesterday did well in the French Forest Cup, beat some good players.
Yeah.
I think he's Aero Bubble's mentee. So yeah, it's clearly working. And I think, as you say, the more questions you ask and the more people engage with it, I think it can work even better. So yeah, I think if you're watching this and you are looking at trying to improve, and you're sort of in the Northwest or vaguely in the Northwest, I mean, Ryan and I are both in Leeds, and we sort of like clump onto the Northwest All Star. But I think as long as you're around, or reasonably, even anywhere in England, really, I'm sure people will be able to offer help. But yeah, as I was saying, glad it's worked out as well as it has, and I think this tournament is proof that with just a little bit of practice, anyone can pick this game up. I mean, don't mean any disrespect or anything, but it was your first
Silph, absolutely.
Going 6 live was somewhat incredible. There was talk of people not believing that you existed, and that, me using my second
left hand for a while.
But yeah, we've come to the best since then. But
yeah, I do exist, everyone.
Yeah, I'm sure once lockdown finishes and we get back to in-person tournaments, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people coming up here saying hello and
forward to put some faces to names as well.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's it. It's a very different atmosphere, the in-person tournaments to the remote ones. But I think it took me a while to adjust to them. I think I'm just about there now, really. But the in-person ones, I think most people who've ever attended one will agree that it's such a friendly atmosphere, and it's a competition, but only in name, really. It's very rarely / never gets heated, or there's no arguing or bickering. It's just people sat around with a pint having a laugh. It's great. It's really good. Well, personally, I can't wait for them to be back as soon as it's safe to do so. But for now, we'll make do, I guess.
Yeah.
Nice one. Well, thanks for joining me. I'm sure we'll have a look at some more some other time. As we were saying, you 6-0'd the Flintshire Forest Cup yesterday.
Yeah. After hardly winning a single match in Forest Cup for the past week.
Yeah, I think. Well, you were due a bit of a turnaround in form. I think it all came together now for you. So I'm sure we'll have that at some point in a few days or a few weeks' time. Hope people look forward to it. But
cool.
Now, let's leave it there.
Cheers.
Cheers. Catch you later.